Today, we're cracking open one of the most powerful and unusual books in history. But here's the thing. It was never actually supposed to be a book at all. It was a secret. So just think about this for a second. What if the most powerful man on earth, a guy dealing with war, a deadly plague, and betrayal, secretly jotted down his personal formula for staying sane and strong? A guide he never, ever meant for us to see, but that somehow survived for almost 2,000 years.
Well, that man was Marcus Aurelius, and he wasn't just some face on an old coin. He was a deeply complex person, juggling these massive, often contradictory roles. He was the commander-in-chief of the entire Roman Empire, a warrior literally on the front lines, and, in his quiet moments, a profound philosopher.
So to get our bearings, Marcus was alive in the 2nd century AD. He becomes emperor in 161 and ends up spending a huge chunk of his reign at war on the northern frontier. And this part is absolutely crucial. It was right there, in a military tent, probably by candlelight between battles, that he wrote the private notes that would become his meditations. And that's the secret sauce right there. This wasn't a book for you and me. It was a series of personal pep talks, reminders to himself, and exercises in mental toughness. He was writing to himself, for himself, and that's what makes it so incredibly raw and honest. This isn't philosophy from some comfy ivory tower. This is philosophy from the trenches. You know, right from the get-go, in Book 1, he doesn't brag about his power or his victories. Instead, he makes a list of all the people he's grateful for and the specific good qualities he learned from each of them. It's this incredible exercise in humility. He starts by looking outward with gratitude before he even begins to look inward. So what was this system he was practicing? It's a philosophy called Stoicism. And honestly, the best way to think about it is as a kind of mental operating system, an OS for navigating the chaos of life. At its core, Stoicism is really about one simple but life-changing idea. Some things are up to us, and some things just aren't. We can't control the world out there, what people say, if we get sick, even our reputation, but we have absolute 100% control over how we choose to respond to all of it. And this chart just lays it out so clearly. On the left, you've got your inner world, your judgments, your choices, your will. That is your kingdom. You are the ruler there. And on the right, basically everything else. The whole goal of a Stoic is to pour every ounce of energy into that left column and learn to accept what's in the right. And Marcus just nails this idea with this quote. He's reminding himself that stuff that happens out there can't actually touch his inner self, his soul. It's our opinion about the thing, our judgment that it's terrible or unfair. That's what causes all our pain. The problem isn't out there, it's in here. And when you really get that, it's freeing, isn't it? If your happiness only depends on your own judgments, which you control, then you suddenly realize you don't need all that much to live a good life. It becomes an inside job. Okay, but history is never that simple, and it's not all sunshine and philosophy. While Marcus Aurelius is often called one of the 5 good emperors, his reign has a really complicated and controversial side that we have to look at. So this is the paradox. How could an emperor who was so obsessed with justice, reason, and self-control also preside over a time when early Christians faced terrible persecution? Well, the historical sources, they paint a really complex picture. So let's break this down. The key thing here is ambiguity. The historical record shows that Christians were often charged with serious crimes against the state, things like treason, not just for their beliefs. Then you have this imperial order, but it was unclear. Did it mean confessing to being Christian or confessing to these alleged crimes? Some historians even argue that these persecutions were mostly carried out by local governors and actually went against the emperor's own principles. And to add yet another layer of context, some sources from that time, including Christian writers, noted that the desire to become a martyr among some early Christians was incredibly intense. Now, that's not a justification, not at all, but it shows you just how tangled and complex the cultural dynamics really were. Okay, so now let's fast forward, because this is where this ancient story gets wild. We're about to draw a direct line from the battlefields of ancient Rome straight into the therapy offices of today. The mental tools Marcus used have had a staggering modern legacy. This quote from another famous Stoic named Epictetus is the key that unlocks the whole thing. Your feelings aren't caused by events, but by your beliefs about those events. Does that sound familiar? It absolutely should. That's right. That idea, nearly 2,000 years old, is the absolute bedrock of one of the most effective and widely practiced forms of psychotherapy in the world today, cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. And hey, this isn't just me connecting some dots here. The actual founders of modern cognitive therapy, Dr. Albert Ellis and Dr. Aaron Beck, both explicitly said that they built their revolutionary treatments on the foundations laid by the Stoics. They saw the exact same truth. If you can change your thoughts, you can change your life. But the connection doesn't even stop there. All through his journal, Marcus is constantly coaching himself to just focus on the task at hand, the here and now. This practice of bringing gentle, non-judgmental attention to the present moment, well, that's a direct ancestor of what we now call mindfulness. And the incredible thing is, today we have this science to prove it works. Mindfulness-based therapies are evidence-based treatments used all the time for anxiety, depression, and a whole host of other conditions. The Emperor's private mental workout has become a powerful tool for modern medicine. Ultimately, I think the power of meditations isn't in its complex theories. It's in this relentless call to action. It's a book about doing. And this quote just sums it all up perfectly. Stop talking about it. Start living it. Stop debating what a good person is. Just be one. And that leaves us with one final question for you. Marcus Aurelius used these ideas to get through a world of war and plague and political chaos. Our challenges today look different on the outside, but that internal landscape, the anxiety, the frustration, the distraction, that's all remarkably similar. So the question is, how might this ancient operating system help you navigate your world today?